Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Clinical Scoop. It's Dan and Monica live in the studio today. We've got Chris on assignment reporting in, and then we've got Dr. Al as well with the new headset, prepared to discuss about Moderna, all things Moderna. And what's the headline, Dr. Al, that you were just reading me? What's the headline?
I was reading for you from the news that Moderna that they will not seek the approval of their COVID-19 uh, vaccine till after the U.S. election.
Okay, interested. Do they say why?
Ah, most probably it have to do with the money. Somehow have to do with the money.
Yep.
I don't know. It's
Mod-
always with these
Moderna,
big drug companies, everything have to do with the money.
yeah. Moderna Chief. Let me see which one. I'm gonna share my desktop too.
I would agree. It's absolutely to do with the money. And again, I believe this is political. It's most likely because a lot of those on the left who are voting for Biden have said, it's been in the media relatively frequently, that they will not take a vaccination that's under Trump's watch. So, thus, money, right?
See? I didn't know that, but I think like whenever to have to do with something like this, have to do with the money.
Yep.
So that's why.
Hold on, guys. Keep talking. I gotta find what's going on.
I think it is quite interesting the
You guys see my
Moderna
screen?
vaccine.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it then.
Okay. Why I can't see anything? Let me see what's going on.
Ah, we can see it then.
Now you can see this.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
I can't see
beautiful
anything.
picture.
I need to find out what's going on. Do you know what's going
What's
on
hap-
here? I can't see anything.
Maybe if you do this.
We can see a Moderna election.
Exactly.
Moderna chief says vaccine not ready before U.S. election. So this came out October 1st. So they're saying it's not ready, and cautious timeline details blow to Trump's hope of November immunization start. Let's look at the stock. The stock in the last 1 month, pretty stable. Went to 77. Now it's back to 63. Let's see, in 6 months, we're from. Oh, let's try year to date. So from 68. Wait, what is this? From $17.
Yep.
So Dr. Al, you got in around this time.
Let's not talk about this.
Okay. Dr. Al
let's,
may or
let,
may not.
let's watch the Yahoo Finance, and it went up to 90 something, and then it dropped to 60, and then now it is like around 68.
Yeah. Let's look at the Yahoo Finance. So Dr. Al doesn't own it. Maybe we don't know
No,
anything.
I don't own any stocks in
Okay.
Moderna now. Nothing.
But anyways, we do want.
What price point did you sell?
Nothing. Uh, by the way, just for the audience, we're not financial advisor. We're not.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, please
Oh, there
do
we
it.
go. Now I see you guys. Sharing is paused. Bring your screen. Hold on. I think I can fix this to where I can see you and me at the same time. Hold on. Can you guys still see the screen?
Yes.
All right, there we go. Now my life is much better. Okay, so let's not talk about stock anymore. It's not interesting. Okay, guys. Nobody cares. Well,
Hey, I care.
do
Okay.
you think anything like the news? So this hasn't impacted the stock.
No.
This is a big company. We're looking on clinicaltrials.gov, and I just put Moderna. There's 30 active. Let's see how many active, not recruiting, and not yet recruiting. There are 7 studies for Moderna right now that are not yet recruiting or
Wow.
active. Let's do not yet recruiting and recruiting. 22. Okay, so they have 22. So they're not like let's let this populate. They're not waiting for that just for. It's not like just COVID is gonna move their stock. Look, they have ovarian cancer, melanoma, solid tumors, cytomegalovirus, respiratory SARS. Here's the SARS, human parainfluenza, prevention of virus, dose
Chikungunya.
escalation. Yeah, look at all these things. Triple negative breast cancer. So, Dr. Al, what, obviously you were familiar with Moderna before COVID, but like, what can you tell us about the company?
It's a very solid company, very very good. Have very good product line in regard of cancer patient general. I think that the thing that's unique about their vaccine for COVID-19, it is an messenger RNA, or as they call it mRNA, that go and attach to the DNA and try to uh, do the job there through the mRNA, and that's how it's been working for the COVID-19. They have, I think, they released the result of phase 1 back in May/June, and they have a lot of results that was not really positive. That's if you go back to the stock chart. This is where you see drop in the stock for the Moderna. Go to Yahoo. Back in here, no,
May
June.
27th, June?
Yeah. Okay, see the drop here. It's because of the result of the phase 1/2,
Oh, yeah.
because there was some side effect, and also they get sued because of the early release of the results. And then this followed by phase 2 result, which showed that it is very good, effective result for the patient, and they had immune response in almost about 80 to 100% of the patient. That's why they've been doing good. But still, like, we don't have phase 3 study, and that's why the company has been stagnant regarding COVID-19.
Yeah, here in July 17th, you can see a high of 94.85, looks like. And then it dropped by September 9th to 54. So it must have been somewhere around here that news came out.
Yep.
Okay, so this was probably the optimism of the vaccine around July 17th. Now, with the vaccine, so let's look at their COVID vaccine study. So this one is recruiting. And let's look at first, before we do that, let's look at the latest news from Moderna. They changed Yahoo Finance. I used to be easier to kind of see what's going on. Let's look here. Where do they put the news now?
It's at the bottom below. Under the company, yes, hear the news. This is advertisement, the first one. Then you have here the news.
Editor's pick: coronavirus latest Wednesday, October 21st.
Uh-huh.
As new cases in the U.S. average around 59,000 a day, with most recent surge, AstraZeneca is reportedly going to restart its vaccine trials in the U.S. Okay, so
AstraZeneca is another one that is doing testing around the world. I know Mexico, Argentina, Colombia,
yeah,
they have been doing testing.
can you guys hear this? Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, let's turn our focus here and get to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. So the number of new cases continuing to grow and growing at its fastest rate in nearly 3 months over the past week. More than 60,000 new cases reported yesterday. Angela Kimlani has the latest on that for us.
Well, we already know that.
When it comes now, even though we've maintained
We all know that,
12,000
guys.
per day.
It's getting bad, but hold on. I want to see what they talk about
Of course,
AstraZeneca.
close off their lows of the day. So initially we got this report here, didn't get the vaccine, so that of course is why we saw shares close off the lows of the day. But more broadly speaking, when we think about what's happening with AstraZeneca, not only overseas, but really right here in the U.S. clinical trial of its vaccine still remains on hold. Do we have any indication on when that trial could resume?
We actually do have an update on that. As it stands, we've heard from Operation Warp Speed that it is likely that both AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson, if you remember, they also had to pause their trial. Both will be restarted this week, likely. It brings into light, a lot of the concerns that we've seen that sort of build up in terms of what will this vaccine process look like, whether or not there will be hiccups along the way. And as we've already seen with these two trials on pause, they're at least looking to restart.
There's Moderna.
AstraZeneca was a leader globally before it had to pause. It did get to restart its trial in the U.S. that late.
So basically, they're talking about the vaccine. So, Dr. Al, do you think a vaccine is necessary at this point, or do you think the treatments, like we discussed last week, monoclonal antibody, is where the focus should be? Obviously, both are being pursued, but a vaccine, I mean, one of the videos you sent us, which is quite controversial, but this doctor is very much against the vaccine. Look, she's saying it's the mark of the beast. So,
Especially Moderna vaccine.
specifically the Moderna vaccine is the mark.
Yeah, because I think they're saying that Bill Gates is having some kind of chips inside the vaccine.
Yeah, she says that. Let me pick at random because this video is absolutely insane. So no matter where you click, I'm just going to click random. It's going to be crazy. Listen.
Get into that. There are certainly resources available. I'm not real happy about the Bill and Melinda Gates patent 060606 in the Book of Revelations. This is the mark of the beast. And according to those who have studied
Bill Gates is Satan.
Well, they call this the Luciferian
of the vaccines.
Vaccine. They actually call it that. So
yeah, according to this doctor, I think which is like mainly she's a holistic physician, and she's from her looking at her listening to her interview, she's against all type of vaccines.
Right.
Okay, it's not only Moderna. She's against all type of vaccines.
Measles, mumps, and rubella.
Exactly. Yeah, she's.
Which is ridiculous.
She's an OB.
No, I think she has the right for her own opinion.
Come on. Polio. Anybody against a polio vaccine? I mean, they're just being ridiculous.
I know, but the thing that brings the interest that the patent for 0606 and
it's awfully funny.
It's like they have some kind of chips that embedded in the vaccine that's gonna go to the humans or the one who get vaccinated, and they're gonna collect information about their eating habits, food habits, sexual habits, sleeping habit, everything habit. They're gonna collect it through this, and they're gonna be dealt in cryptocurrency also. Gosh, what is this? Like we are like in somewhere in the high, very and
so where should we stand, Dr. Al? Somewhere between this lunacy, because this is interesting video. There's probably elements of truth in this, but somewhere between this, basically conspiracy, and Moderna's rhetoric that it's going to save the planet with the vaccine and everyone needs to get it. Where should normal people stand in this, spectrum?
I as a physician, I would recommend vaccination. Okay.
Well,
for the patient, especially with this kind of COVID-19, what type of vaccination? There is a lot of vaccination coming out. I will, and nothing is till now consolidated or true about the vaccine. No result of phase 3 trial that we need to look into, and that's where decide about which vaccine to use. What about this extra curriculum stuff that's added to the vaccine? I'm not sure about it, and I need to look into it much better and more carefully before I do any recommendation of the vaccine. For now, we know that Moderna, they are the most ahead in getting the vaccine and doing the vaccine and the result of the vaccination for the patient. but other companies are still like in earlier phases than Moderna.
Do you think Moderna is going to be the first one with a vaccine or ready FDA-approved vaccine?
For now, that's what it seems.
Okay.
So I would just like to add my 2 cents. That's why I'm here, I assume. So I remember watching a show. I take this with a grain of salt. And they were talking about vaccinations and hurriedly bringing vaccinations to market. This was back in the 70s. The United States government was concerned about, I don't remember, some flu or something, and having a repeat of the 1918 Spanish flu.
Mhm.
And so they hurriedly brought it to market like in 6 months, and it wound up killing some people.
Mm.
So again, I think it's ridiculous to be too concerned about vaccines. However, in cases where it's hurriedly processed and brought to market, I think there's a concern there.
Yeah, and that's what critics of Trump are getting at too. You know, it's like they feel like he's trying to rush it just so for political gain.
Right.
And
Which,
science has become politicized too. It's like the Democrats somehow became the party for science, and then the Republicans are like the anti-maskers, supposedly. So, you know, none of that is probably true when you ask normal people on either side. But yeah, I think that's a good point, Chris. Like people, normal people, you know, which I consider all four of us to be, even though we don't appear that way sometimes. We're
Thanks.
normal. Trust us, guys. We're normal. We're normal. But yeah, I think they need to like fall somewhere in between both of these extremes.
So, again, in my opinion, I think there's reasons to hurriedly bring something to market now, just because this is devastating what's currently going on to the economic situation of the country. So, I mean, there's pros and cons, right? That being said, I won't be one of the first people taking it if this doesn't go through the regimen testing that it
Oh
should.
yeah, I'm not taking I don't want to be one of the first monkeys in space.
If it took 18 months, which is standard for developing a vaccine, if it had taken 18 months, I wouldn't be too hesitant on taking it. But being that this has only been going on for now since what, February, March?
Uh-huh.
Right. That's not long enough. 7 months and you already have a vaccine. No, I'm out.
But Trump said it's Operation Warp Speed.
Sure, and I get that, but again,
like Star Trek, Warp
they say the developmental time to go through all the proper testing is 18 months.
Yeah.
So it's very high probability something's going to go wrong here.
I've always felt that the best solution to this would be better treatments, which is
Me too.
The monoclonal antibody looks promising. It's just a scaling issue and a cost issue. How do we get this built at scale so that if people that do get sick and they're in the hospital, you know, we can cure them, right? Like, and then you're not going to stop people from getting infected, but at least if you have the treatments built at scale, the same thing Donald Trump got, you can give to everybody who gets sick that goes in the hospital, even though 15% of people develop some kind of shock. I mean, I don't know, they got to fix that part, or at least they're in the hospital to where maybe there's a risk-reward ratio there. That's more for Dr. Al. I'm not a doctor.
But also the antibodies it didn't go through phase 3 trial yet.
Right.
So we don't know the exact effectiveness of it comparing to the for the people who get it and the people who does not get it. That's why they do the phase 3 trial, to compare the effectiveness of medication and how it will and the side effect comparing to the people who doesn't get it or the people who get it in different doses. And we have like a couple of patients that maybe respond to it and for one reason or the other, but we don't know about the phase 3. So as I said, like unless any vaccine goes through phase 3 and come the result out for the effectiveness and for the side effect and everything, I don't think any physician should recommend any for his patient.
So I would just like to add one more thing to what I was saying, and that's in terms of this is a no-win situation for whoever's president, because the World Health Organization, trust them as much as you want, has stated that if things don't go back to normal, there's going to be many more people dying from the economic impact than from COVID itself. So if you're president right now, you're either pushing it too fast, the vaccine, right? Which is probably not going to be a great vaccine in terms of it might be great for efficacy, but safety may be another thing. But if you don't, then people are going to die for other reasons, right? From the lockdowns and everything else. They're saying 500 million people may starve to death in the world if this isn't ended, the lockdowns. So you're just in a no-win situation.
I know, but
And
also
again,
you can.
I'm not
You
taking it.
I know, but you can't give it to somebody and cause for him some kind of Guillain-Barré or paralysis or pneumonitis that's going to be permanent for him and going to
Right,
cripple
right.
him for the rest of
Exactly.
his life.
So in that case, the treatment will be the answer.
I completely agree. That's why I said it. I'm not taking it, but I get why it's being pushed. I mean, just because of how devastating this is going to be. And this is going to be devastating for a decade
I know.
economically.
So I think the best
So,
thing now we recommend for the other people, keep distance, wear mask, and wash your hands.
We're doing it. We're on
Exactly.
with Monica.
That's what we recommend.
Let us be examples to you guys. Yeah, we've been wearing these masks all day. So can you guys still see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the one study. Let's look at this one study, and then Monica and I gotta go film a video. We got shameless plug, CRC Academy. You got to go sign up. But a study to evaluate efficacy, safety, immunogenicity of mRNA. This is the one you were talking about, right? 1273 vaccine. This is the one that's. This is the main one that's. Looks like it's gonna end. Yeah, it is phase 3. This is a phase 3 vaccine. 30,000 participants. Quadruple blind.
Exactly.
And estimated completion date on clinicaltrials.gov. Estimated completion date. This is not going to be good for anyone to hear. October 2022. Estimate completion date. But the FDA is probably allowing them because it's warp speed, right? The FDA is probably going to allow after a certain amount of data, so this is assuming 30,000 participants finish by October 2022. But
Dan, go back and look at the start date. It's July 2020.
Yeah,
so it's 2 years. It's 2 years for a study. Never happened.
Yeah. 2 years for the study. So it started, July 27, 2020, estimated to complete 2022. Now, since this is phase 3, the FDA is probably going to accept, because it's emergency, right? It's a pandemic. They're going to look at the data, and if it looks good, they're not going to wait for it to finish. They're going to approve it beforehand, but then they're still going to do the actual study, right? They're going to complete the study. So let's see if their actual
what do you think would be the timeline? And this is just shooting in the dark, but what do you think the timeline would be for that data lock and deciphering whether or not it's successful?
Well,
halfway.
Their chief says vaccine not ready before election. So the CEO of Moderna, he said this just a few weeks ago.
Oh, that was for Moderna. What you were showing?
Yeah, the CEO.
2022.
Yeah,
okay.
he dealt a blow to U.S. President Donald Trump's hopes. He told the Financial Times would not be ready to seek emergency use authorization from the FDA before November 25th at the earliest. So that's probably answering your question right there. Around that time is when they're planning to do the first database lock. Or maybe it's not the first database. I'm sure it is the first database lock because it only started in July, right?
Right.
And he added that he did not expect full approval to distribute the drug to all sections of the population until next spring. So they're probably going to do another database lock around then, undermining Trump's claim Tuesday's presidential debate that a vaccine would be available a lot sooner. Trump cracks me up because he just says things. I mean, like him or hate him, but he's a character. Okay. Trump said it should be available a lot sooner. So I don't see if this is the one. If Moderna is the one, this is the quickest one. The CEO, not the CEO, the CEO of Moderna saying, look, November 25th will be the earliest, and that's just for a small section of the population. Probably to distribute it to all sections of the population is spring of 2021.
Yeah, this is what they wrote here. April and June of 21.
Yeah. So, and this is the leading candidate, right? So,
For now.
yeah,
And when did this originate in development? Do you know? Was it
July.
like March? No, that's when the phase 3 test started.
No, I think it was as originate in development as the vaccine itself back at the end of the 2019.
Yeah, let's look
Okay.
at completed.
Yeah,
Like December 2019. So if it's ready in say
yeah, November,
February,
December. Yeah.
Let's
okay,
look at completed.
December. So
Let's,
about a year in development.
let's look at all of them. I don't know. Let's look at all of them. There's only 30. So let's see. COVID, SARS-CoV-2, Zika
Active, not
virus.
recruiting. So
Yeah, this is the one that we
this
just
one?
looked at. But
Okay.
let's see if they have another one for COVID. They had one for Zika virus. Here's
But
SARS-CoV-2.
I think they also don't want to risk it because I mean this can make it or break the company too. You know, if they do or
Yeah.
believe a vaccine that has too many side effects or or a lot of stuff, people are going to lose credibility in this company.
Yeah. There's pros and cons to being first, obviously. The only other COVID one I see is the this one, which is active not recruiting. So maybe this is the one that ended. Yeah, first posted May 2020, and it ended. So it started May
That was
2020.
phase 2.
Yeah, phase 2 estimated completed in 2021, and they want 600 patients. So this is the phase 2. This is the phase 2 study.
So if they started this in
Same
May
drug, same drug.
and finish in
They started in May, and the patients are still going on. The last patient in is supposed to be August, but enrollment's closed. So it's just all 600 patients. Either some of them withdrew, or there's still many of them left, and they won't finish until like August, the last ones. But they reached their number of 600.
That doesn't make a lot of sense for a phase 2 trial because usually they're 3 months at most.
Right, but this is different because it's Operation Warp Speed.
No, I understand that, Dan. But if say they enrolled today and it's 3 months long, that's long before August.
Yeah, this one we can see. Let's see. Let's see what it's looking like. Primary outcome 7 days post-vaccine. So they're looking at SAEs from month 0 through month 13.
Oh, okay, so it's 13 months long.
And then 1 year after the final dose. So they're looking at long-term on this phase 2 also. So that's why it's not enrolling. But obviously the data was good enough for the FDA to approve that phase 3, which just started in July. So it looks like this is the leading candidate for a vaccine. But the stock, that's probably already factored into the stock price. So
Moderna, the one
it's probably already
AstraZeneca,
factored in, but maybe you can speculate if it gets approved and it gets approved first, maybe 68 is a good price to get in because we've already seen it go in July
94.
to 90 something, right? So if you've got, if you want to gamble a little bit, what do you know about this vaccine candidate, Dr. L?
Not in the stocks.
No, not the stock, the vaccine, like the MR.
mRNA.
Yeah. So what do you think about this particular one?
It's supposed to be very effective according to what the phase 1 study showing. It's
Okay.
producing a lot of immunogenicity against the virus, and it's been helping the population. But as I told you, I will not recommend it or say anything until I will see about the phase 3 trial.
Yeah, we're not financial advisors, God forbid. But
So
personally, I'd be willing to take a gamble on this. I mean, you're gambling, but I'd be willing to take a gamble if I see this already, 94. So that shows me enthusiasm. This probably shows that the phase 2 was good and the phase 3 is going to start. I bet you this is what this is. This spike. Phase 2 is
the July price point isn't that where the phase 3 started?
That's what I'm
July?
saying. That's what I think.
exactly
Where
where it
the phase
started.
2, the FDA said this is good to go to phase 3. So that's where
Right.
it spiked.
Right.
I think this is where the AstraZeneca and J&J were having issues. So Moderna got thrown into that as well. And then, so maybe it's a good time to get in. I might go buy some on Robinhood
Go
tomorrow.
a little bit behind here in the drop.
I have a couple of questions about the science, if I may, Dr. Al.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. We're frozen image-wise, so I wasn't sure if I was coming through. Is this a live vaccine or is it a dead
No,
vaccine?
it's a messenger
You know?
RNA. Messenger RNA is not alive. It's not a
Okay. And
vaccine.
then
It's
is the,
a messenger RNA that go and interact with the DNA according to their study.
okay. And then secondly, would this be more effective, or somebody had already acquired COVID need this vaccine? In other
We
words,
don't know. We don't know.
don't know.
We never had any comparison between the patient who get infected and the level of the antibody or immunogenicity that can this vaccine produce.
Because I'm hearing all kinds of different things that you can. It's not a. If you get COVID-19, it's not a permanent immunity towards it, right? That it can wear off, and a year later you can.
I know, but also look at
the
Chris. Look at the population. The people who gets COVID-19, some of them get very sick, and some of them does not get very sick. And they're saying it's because of the age, comorbid condition, and everything. Even the one who gets sick may get infected again or not. We don't know. We didn't have any of this. We didn't see any publication about this so far. I don't think there is any measurement of the immune response for any of the patient who get infected and how long does it last. There is no study done like this. I'm not aware about study that done like this about watching, even in epidemiology, to watch for COVID-19 to see how long that the immune response is going to last and what the COVID-19 immune response depends on. Does it depend on the age? Does it depend on your health status? Does it depend on your exercise? We don't know all these things. There is a lot of things we don't know. We need to go and find
all
out.
kinds of variables.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So again, best guesstimate. Would you say this is similar to the flu in terms of it'll be a requirement each year to have a vaccine for this, or again, best
in 5
guess?
years, yes.
In 5 years, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in 5 years it's going to be like the same as the flu. It's a virus, same as the until we get all the people get immune to it, and then start a new variant strains come out. Then we're going to have sicker period of time, and this is where the vaccine going to come. But also the same as the flu. Nobody will predict which strain going to be out.
Right.
We're going to
so
make
this is
like
going to be
a
very
mix
similar
of
to
all.
a.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the new flu, essentially.
Exactly, and this is where we're gonna have a lot of new mix at the end, mix of this all strains, antibodies together to give it as a vaccine.
So get used to the mask, guys. Get used to the mask for the foreseeable decade. But we wanted to do a quick analysis of Moderna, a little bit of looking at the stock, a little bit of the portfolio, a little bit of the people against it, which you can see. It's actually an interesting video. Monica and I got to go shoot a video for the patient recruitment for a study that we have coming up. But thank you, Dr. Al. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Monica, and everybody for watching and listening. And we'll do another episode next week, guys. Take care.
Thank you, guys.